Hey everyone, Mario here. Today I wanted to discuss testosterone levels in men over 40 who are also interested in building muscle, and I'm hoping building muscle naturally. I think the psychology of it all is something I'd rather address because I'm not a doctor, and nor am I someone that spends his time focusing really on this sort of aspect of muscle building. So, but I could offer some advice for anyone that's wanting to transform their body or having a difficult time maintaining some of the gains they've made and some of the improvements they made in their fitness levels and overall muscular development levels. So, of course, I'm in my 40s. I'm 42, going to be 43 soon. And so I understand, a lot of the feelings associated with what you might, consider the reason being testosterone levels being low. So if that's an issue, or it's more than anything, like I said, I think it's psychological, and I think it's a barrier that you need to overcome, and I think it's perfectly normal for a man our age, or around our age, because we're basically going through a midlife crisis. I mean, let's be honest, we're at that age, so you're smack in the middle of what would be the average lifespan for a man, probably surpassing that as well. So it's normal that even someone in their late 30s might experience this as well. But generally speaking, I think the 40 to 50 age bracket is when we have these thoughts associated with uh, testosterone levels, and thinking that maybe if we could get our testosterone levels up higher through something like TRT, or through other means, testosterone boosters. There's products that can help in this regard, but I think generally speaking, not much needs to change other than your outlook on things. And the other thing that does need to change as well is that you need to take more action, because if you're not taking any actions associated with any of your goals, nothing comes to fruition. Nothing happens. So let's just analyze things for a second. I think the first point I should mention is that when a doctor, for example, puts a limitation as to how much testosterone you have, then immediately people, there's that placebo effect, and people just believe it. I mean, people have since the beginning of time put doctors on a pedestal. In the Italian community, for example, and here in North America, let's say, someone will that's intelligent will be referred to as a doctor. They'll be like dottore, doctor. Almost because they're smarter than everybody else. But the fact is that most doctors don't work out. I mean, do you really think a doctor is always practicing what they preach? They're preaching a bunch of different things to a bunch of different types of people. Very few of them actually have an area of specification, or focus rather, or rather, the people that we consult with, the doctors that we consult with, many times are like general practitioners. And even if someone is specific to testing for testosterone levels, that doesn't mean that they know what's best for you in this journey of building muscle, or maintaining a good shape that you've acquired over the years, through the years of training. So yeah, I just wanted to offer some kind of psychology advice associated with this. The first thing is, don't let that limitation bother you. If you did get tested for testosterone levels, and it appears that you have lower than average testosterone levels, and you're so concerned with this because you are interested in building muscle as well, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I don't even have an average man my age, an average man's testosterone levels for my age group. How am I gonna even take things a step further and build muscle? Honestly speaking, I think it's even if it's the case, it's only one aspect of building muscle. Like there's so many things that go into this. I know hormones are a big thing. It's a huge thing, okay? But it's not the only thing. And many times people that have a sort of deficiency in one area, I remember a trainer telling me this, but I've had actually multiple trainers tell me this, and I've preached it many times through my own experiences, not just because I was told this. But the people that have like a huge deficiency in terms of, in this case, for example, testosterone levels, they often go further than anyone else. They do better than anyone else almost because of that deficiency, because they need to compensate in other areas, and they just do everything else and focus on everything else like to a T, meaning they just give it 100%. And that leads me to my next point. Taking action. If you can really, instead of thinking all the time, which is so detrimental for, I would say, a man our age, it hurts you in your finances, it hurts you in your relationships. Really, just take action. Do the things that you know are necessary to achieve your goals, and try to have fun with it. Try to make it something that you enjoy doing, like, I mean, try to remember who you are, and remember why you're doing it. And many times, if you look at the reasons why you're doing something, and even the process, it's things you enjoy, it's things that inspire you, it's for your family, it's for your own self-esteem, it's for freedom. Freedom is a big one. That might be something you're fighting for at the moment. And either way, whatever it may be, you need to take action, and enjoy this process as well. And once again, the process many times is something you do enjoy, and sometimes that's why you got started in something. You didn't necessarily have a certain big goal attached to, let's say, muscle building. You just enjoyed weight training. You liked the feeling of building a little bit more muscle. So it was never like this huge thing you needed to achieve. So that's another aspect that I wanted, that I hope you can steer your attention to, which is once again taking action. So the first thing is not letting limitations, theoretical limitations, get in the way. I've been told so many times, like, I can't be the biggest natural bodybuilder of all time. I don't have the genetics. When I hurt my back, when I got what is it called? I sprained my lower back. The paramedics came to pick me up because I couldn't move. In the morning, I did come home. I had a weight training injury. It took me forever to get to my car. I was basically using my arms to pull myself to my car. Had almost like very little feeling in my legs, but enough to drive myself home, get in the house. But the following morning, my wife was saying, I can't take this. I don't know how I'm going to take care of you. I could barely move. When I tried, I was just yelling. So, like many people who have gotten a sort of lower back injury, or a sprained back, it's painful, and for some people it lasts quite a while. The healing process lasts quite a while. So I remember getting hurt, and getting back to the point I'm trying to make. The paramedics in the morning brought me to the hospital, but when they were picking me up, putting me on the stretcher, and eventually into the ambulance, it was funny because they were they were the most negative people, and they were just, one of them actually had a goal, a certain financial goal written on the wall. Back then, I was very into the whole positive thinking thing, and I don't want to kind of contradict myself right now, but yeah, in any case, I was overly focused on, let's say, positive thinking, and not worrying too much about the actions and I needed to take. So I wasn't back then practicing what I'm preaching to you right now. But I had that on the wall, and one of the two paramedics was like, he was saying, yeah, unless you win the lottery, that won't happen. And the other paramedic, as they're putting me on the stretcher, was saying, he took a look at my back, I don't know if he turned me over or something and took a quick look, and he was like, yeah, you're messed up. You could just tell by the nerves and, the muscles that were kind of contracting around my back or something like that. And mentioned that he was like, you're out, just by the looks of you right now, you're out for 6 months. Like, you're going to be in bed for 6 months, and then you'll start to be able to recover. So until then, you're basically almost like, sorry to use the term, but like a vegetable in terms of not being able to move, do much. It's just going to be very painful for you. Long story short, within 2 weeks, I was back in the gym. I believe I rested for a week, and then for that first week of training, thereafter, which I did train, it was like really, really hard, and I'd be like almost falling off the bench purposely to be able to get back up by pushing myself up. So I would have to like flip over, and it was just an ugly scene, but it was at the same time. I didn't care so much about how it looked, because that's what I needed to basically rehabilitate myself. And within 1 week thereafter of training, I was almost back. I was maybe at 60 or 70%, and another week or two after that, I was fine. I was like 100%. So, and of course, anyone that has had a lower back injury knows that it kind of comes back once in a while. But if you're careful, generally speaking, it's something that you could live out the rest of your years with, and it won't be such an issue as long as you're careful. So anyways, this is what happened to me. I was not, basically I was in the right state of mind to get back into shape. I think if you allow that sort of placebo effect of someone telling me you can't do something, it's over. I mean, that's the absolute worst thing, is just being in your own head, and especially, living your life in a way that others dictate, for you. So you need to take control of your life. So no matter what somebody says, it's not the end of things. That's what I'm trying to say. Even if someone says you have low testosterone levels, and they could be an expert in the field, but they don't know you, and they don't know what you're capable of, and they don't also understand probably what you're trying to do. I mean, not everybody, like I might have mentioned, is into muscle building, and just the fact that you have a passion for this, says something. So, that was the first thing. Second thing was taking actions towards your goals, really doing things that can contribute to increased testosterone levels, but also just in general, just get in shape, and feel better. And then that whole idea of having low testosterone levels, and I'm depressed, and I feel almost emasculated in life. I feel like I'm not a man. I'm just getting this, these bad vibes all the time, and I think all of that kind of withers away when you take action. It's like I said, it's mostly happening in your head. So, get to it. Do all of the things you can be doing to improve yourself. Try to have a balance. It's such a cliche term, but it's so important, and it's something that I think everyone in their life needs to tackle at some point. There's a reason why people talk about balance, and you could call it harmony. Kind of adjusting things as things change, and of course you need to adapt to changes, and balance is not always the same. It is kind of fluid and moving, but it's also very disruptive. People that try to achieve balance many times have a life that seems more chaotic than anyone else's, and but that's, it's understandable. It's you once again, you're a passionate person. You have passions, you have dreams, you have aspirations, and not everyone has that. Like, many people have it, but if your aspirations fall within what's considered almost the norm or generic, I mean, it's normal. Those things are much more easily achieved. So those people appear to have more balance, and to an extent they do, but they don't necessarily, will not necessarily achieve, I don't want to say greatness or anything, but they won't achieve basically maybe those kind of childlike dreams that we had growing up. And there's nothing wrong with being in incredible shape in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. And in fact, of course, it's very good for you. But many people will, almost like talk down to you, if you're interested in muscle building. Or just the other day I went to play soccer. Today, actually, earlier today, I went to play soccer, and I go by myself. I bring a ball. I've got my daughter's little, bottle, like, I mean, it wasn't even like a regular adult kind of bottle. It was like a red or pink or something bottle. I didn't even care. I just grabbed it. I needed some water, something that would stay closed, and even if it gets knocked down or whatever. And I headed to the soccer field, and I was just blasting the ball against this very high fence. And somebody might see me and say, what's this 40-year-old guy doing? Like, this 43-year-old guy, I'm going to be 43. What in the world is he doing there with like a soccer ball? He's not a kid anymore. He's not, shouldn't he be working? Shouldn't he be? Well, I'm independent. I'm a sole proprietor. I work for myself, and that right there is something that, most people are not entrepreneurs. And even sometimes struggles that maybe I go through, even financially or whatever, people tend to not understand. They think that, they automatically think a business owner is rich, and I know more than anyone that that's not the case. Many times we struggle more than others, and it goes back to that idea of fighting for a balance in your life. But once again, the end goal, what you want to ultimately achieve, is greater than what other people want to achieve in terms of volume, in terms of something that difficulty level. In that regard, it is greater. So it's going to be more difficult, and once again, there's going to be chaos associated with that. But in any case, the point is, if you do take, the more you take action, and the less you ponder on things, the closer you get to your goals, and things start to kind of even out. And even in terms of testosterone levels, I do believe, I'm a strong, very strong believer in this, that if you're doing some cardio regularly, meaning some aerobic exercise, aerobic training, you need to be working the heart. One of the symptoms of this is sweating, and of course burning fat, and that's very good. It's aesthetically pleasing when you go through this process, and it makes you feel better. It helps your skin. Your skin gets clearer, which is kind of what's happening with me. I'm not sure if it's kind of coming through in the video, but my skin is clearing out a little bit. It just has some great benefits. So it's not just working your heart. So there's the cardio, and then regular resistance training or some form of muscle building training. It could be isometric training, whatever it may be, even just flexing. I mean, you can, flex all day, and or not all day, but flex for like an hour or two, and that's like an incredible workout. So there's, you need to have, once again, fight for that balance, but much of that balance is basically taking action. So once you take action, you all automatically eliminate kind of like the process of wondering and thinking, am I gonna improve, or are things gonna get better? Am I gonna feel better? You have to stop asking yourself these questions at some point and just get started, and don't stop. Keep going. I mean, a perfect example, I think, of someone that many men our age look to as a sort of example is, let's say, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, you see this man that's, I believe, approximately 50 years old or so, and he's in incredible shape. And I don't want to get into too many details. Is he natural? Most likely not. I see some signs that he's not. But in any case, there's, he could be doing things at a fairly healthy, in moderate level, let's say. And regardless, he's a guy that's always like pushing. He's kind of like the example of getting results based on taking action all the time and not thinking so much. And as much as he appears to be perfect or a perfectionist, I think much of his rewards were brought to him because of having this attitude of just moving forward, taking action, falling and not displaying that, not letting people know when you're failing, kind of thing. In any case, the point is that is somewhat of an extreme version of what many of us men our age, average guys, regular guys, I mean, want to achieve. You know, it's like an extreme version because not everyone has the possibility to travel the world for their multiple businesses that they're running, and nor would they want to. Like, I don't want to travel. I don't mind flying. I'm not crazy about flying, but honestly speaking, I have two young daughters, and these are the most precious years. These are the years I definitely don't want to miss. And it's not to judge, him. He's bringing in the dough, and he's a person that I think likes the spotlight. But he has maybe other alternate meanings for why he's or reasons rather why he's always pushing and always trying to move forward. He wants to be the best at everything, the most famous actor. Eventually he'll probably get into politics. I believe he's already kind of begun that journey somewhat, and who knows, he might be president of the United States someday. But that's not everyone, and nor is that better than what you want to do. A little bit going back to what I was saying about achieving greatness. I mean, it is more difficult, and to achieve what he wants to achieve, he has to follow that process, or approximately what he's currently doing. But for us, for regular, let's say, guys, we want to, maybe I think most of us want to have, the want freedom. We want our family safe and taken care of. We want, maybe our own house, something that we could call our own place that is ours, and a little savings account for the future, near future, or if in case something happens to us. Once again, going back to taking care of our loved ones and making sure that they're okay. But beyond that, I think there's not much more that most guys want. Maybe traveling, but even in that case, many times it's traveling with the family. So it's like in any case, whatever you want to do, you can achieve it by taking action. And if I could try to steer back to the focus of testosterone levels, it does have an effect on you. Your mojo, everything goes up when you take action and you think less. Only good things come out of taking good actions. So do it, and do it regularly. And there's not much I could say. Like I said, don't let other people get you down, even if they're experts in a certain field. It's fine, but take it with a grain of salt. And the other thing is, take action towards your goals. Don't hesitate as much as you currently are. Don't procrastinate. Just do it, get it done. And you'll find that by doing all those things, like I said, everything's gonna skin's gonna begin clearing up, everything improves. And who knows if even testosterone levels are, let's just imagine for a second that 90% of what you can attribute your levels of testosterone being at is maybe could be accredited to just the mind and seeing yourself a certain way. So it's possible, it's normal at our age. If you look at things in that regard, I mean, many of us have young children. We're eating their leftovers, so it's like we've got the dad pot. We're kind of comfortable in the sense that we, have found our spouse and are not, out and about trying to, court other women or anything like that. We're much less active, because we don't hang out with our friends as much. And all of that has to do with not having enough time to do those things. So, if you look at all of the things going on in our life, you'll start to understand that it's not just because of having low testosterone levels that you're a little bit depressed and that you're a little out of shape and that you're a little whatever, that all the things that you think are bad with yourself. Those things are basically a result of many times of just the actions that we're currently taking. So, but the good news is that, around our age, our children are growing up, starting to become more independent. It gives frees up some time for us and allows us to do certain things that we kind of set aside for maybe a little bit too long. So, in any case, there's not much more I could say. I really believe those are the two things. Don't let limitations get in the way. Just because someone tells you have low testosterone levels doesn't mean that you're not going to build muscle and feel like a man and feel good. And you can feel good. I wouldn't say all the time, but you can feel good most of the time. And if at the moment you're feeling down all the time, that's not a good sign. But like I said, go revert to those two things that I mentioned. One, try to build a resistance towards criticism, even if it's constructive and it's objective, it's not someone judging you or anything like that. Still, I would say take that with a grain of salt, and once again, focus on actions. If you do that, your life will be better, you'll feel better, and this idea of having low testosterone levels, it's going to wither away. And it's something that's currently happening with me. I've had experienced this in the past, even in my 20s and 30s. It seems to be a decade, kind of cycling thing. So with me personally, and I think with most men it is as well. I'm sure that testosterone levels can drop even for someone, who's like 21, a 21-year-old man who should be at the peak of his testosterone levels. I'm pretty sure there's many that experience a huge drop in testosterone levels because of, emotional abuse sustained from a parent, possibly, bullying, a spouse, a girlfriend, a partner, whoever it may be, a boss. I mean, there are, people will have an effect on you, but most of the time, like I said, it's happening in our minds. The worst is always in here. So, don't give too much power to the mind. Start to listen to the heart a little bit, and also just take action. Okay, do what you got to do. You can do this. I know you can. All the best to you guys. Okay, veb.org. If you ever want to learn more about muscle building, that's my site. And I look forward to hearing from you and hearing about your results. And once again, testosterone levels, whatever it may be. Maybe you're not able to train in a gym right now. Don't let these things stop you. There's always a way. There's always a means to achieve your goals and to get through a difficult time. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you're going through something incredibly difficult right now, like it's not just being mildly depressed all the time, then all I could say is you're not alone, and you never were alone. And many people have gone through what you were going through, and even worse, much worse, and they still came out on top. And that's the last point actually I wanted to make. I just remembered it's important to be consistent, not just in your actions, but like even moving forward. Like life isn't about a transformation. I'm currently going through one now, a physical transformation. I entered a ISA body challenge, it's called, from the company Isogenics. In any case, it's something that I think I needed right now, but it's also something I want to make permanent. Like once I'm done, I just want to maintain that, and if anything, improve thereafter. So, it's something that we need to, at our age, start thinking about. We need to do this. You need to make this aspect of like working on yourself consistent thereafter. It's not just for a transformation, because how many people get in shape and then they get fall out of shape. We've done that in the past. I've done that. So many people have done that. And many people, what they do is they accept the part of them that gives up as the person that they're going to be for the rest of their life. Why don't you do the opposite? And those are the people that achieve success. Those are the people that are happy, I would say, generally. Okay, as happy as a person can be. If you're happy, your spouse is going to be happy, your kids are going to be happy, or at least you're going to be contributing to that. okay, as opposed to it being the opposite. So all the best to you guys, and I wish you nothing but good things. And get in touch if you ever need to, web.org/contact, and I look forward to hearing about your results. All right, till the next video, I should be coming out with a update as to my own transformation within about a week or so. I've got a little over 4 weeks, so I think it's close to 5 weeks before it ends. And that's it. I've only got about a month to get really lean. I tend to, get very lean within about a month or so before I complete a transformation. So it's perfectly normal for me to still be holding a little bit of fat. I cannot, for the life of me, focus on losing weight or leaning down for 3 or 4 months straight. Like, I needed to kind of actually bulk up a little bit, almost to increase my metabolism levels, and then focus, in that last month on burning fat. So it's going to be an exciting transformation. In any case, within about a week, I'll give you guys an update. And but most importantly, I want you guys to be okay. I want you to be happy with yourselves and your transformation. And of course, like I said, this is something for the long term. We're setting ourselves up for the long term now. So that's it. Hope to hear from you soon. Ciao.